Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy puts you in the boots of Star-Lord, the leader of the Guardians. It's an action-adventure game focusing on the dynamic between the Guardians, explosive combat encounters. This game isn't exactly like the movies, but it has the same kind of feel. Lots of action, funny moments, and really cool soundtracks. It's like a big space adventure with your favorite superhero team. The game is mostly about fighting, exploring, and making choices in conversations. The fighting is fast and exciting. Star-Lord has his blasters, which are like space guns, and he has other gadgets he can use. But the cool part is that you can also tell the other Guardians what to do. Each Guardian has their own special powers, and you have to work together as a team to beat the bad guys. It's like being a team leader, figuring out the best way to use everyone's abilities. You also get to explore a lot. You'll visit different planets and spaceships, and there are lots of things to find. You can look for hidden items, resources that you can use, and secret areas that you might have missed. The places you go are really detailed and interesting, so it's fun to just wander around and see what you can discover. The choices you make in the conversations are important. You'll often have to decide what Star-Lord says or does, and these choices can change how the story goes. They can also affect how the other Guardians feel about you. It's like you're really part of the team, and your decisions matter. The story is a big part of the game. It's a fun and exciting story with lots of humor. The Guardians are always joking around and teasing each other, and it makes the game really enjoyable. It's not just a silly story though. There are also some serious moments and some emotional parts. You really get to know the Guardians and care about what happens to them.
Alright, I'm pretty sure we've all caught our breath.
Hey, before we continue the video, what if you could play over 2,000 genuine Steam games, including Cyberpunk 2077, Red Dead Redemption 2, Elden Ring, and more, without paying full price for each one? Well, that's exactly what PL2W offers, an affordable way to access a huge library of games without breaking the bank. PL2W is a game account rental platform that lets you play premium games for just 90 cents for 30 days. Instead of buying each game separately, you get instant access to a massive collection, all running through Steam. The setup is simple. Just download PL2W, select a game, and with one click it logs you in and starts playing. No complicated steps, no long signups, just pick a game and jump in. All the games on PL2W are genuine Steam titles, so you're playing the real versions just like you normally would, and since it's a rental system, you get to try out a ton of games without committing to a full purchase. For example, you can play Monster Hunter Wilds and tons of other AAA games through PL2W. If you like trying out different games but don't want to spend on each one, this is a great option. And here's something extra for you. I've got an exclusive code that gives you a 3-day free game pass. Just use code pixeldragon when signing up. There are only 10 slots available, so grab it while you can. So if this sounds interesting, check it out. You can find the PL2W link in the description, download it, and see for yourself. It's a simple and affordable way to play more games without spending a lot. A Plague Tale Requiem. This game is like a storybook, but a dark and sometimes sad one. It's the second game in a series, and it continues the story of Amicia and Hugo. They live in medieval France, and there's a terrible plague going around. It's like the Black Death, and it's making everyone sick. Hugo, the little brother, has a special connection to the rats that are spreading the plague. It's a weird and scary connection, and Amicia is trying to find a way to help him. The game is mostly about sneaking around, solving puzzles, and sometimes fighting. Amicia isn't a super strong fighter. She's smart and resourceful. She uses a sling to throw rocks at enemies, and she has other tools she can use, but mostly she tries to avoid fighting altogether. She sneaks past guards and uses distractions to get by. There are also puzzles you have to solve. They often involve using the environment or Hugo's special connection to the rats. Like maybe you need to make the rats move a certain way to open a door or something. The story is really important in this game. It's about Amicia and Hugo and their relationship. They love each other very much, and they'll do anything to protect each other. The story is also about the terrible things that people do to each other during times of trouble. It can be pretty sad and upsetting, but it's also a powerful story about hope and survival. The game looks amazing. It's very detailed and realistic, and it makes the world feel very real. It's also pretty creepy. The rats are everywhere and they're really scary. The game does a great job of making you feel like you're really there in the middle of all the danger. So, A Plague Tale Requiem is a game about a girl and her brother trying to survive a plague. It's a game about sneaking, puzzles, and a powerful story. It's dark and sometimes sad, but it's also a beautiful and moving game. If you like games with a good story, and you don't mind a little bit of scariness, you might like this one. Resident Evil 4. Okay, so in Resident Evil 4, you're Leon, a special agent. He has to rescue the president's daughter, Ashley, who's been kidnapped and taken to a weird village in Spain. Turns out the people there are all messed up, they're like zombies, but they're also kind of different and scarier. The game is about exploring the village and fighting these infected people. It's a mix of scary parts and action parts. You'll be going through creepy houses, farms, and even a big castle. You have to find clues and solve puzzles to figure out what's going on and how to get Ashley out. The fighting is tough. You don't have a lot of bullets, so you have to be smart about how you use them. You can find different weapons like pistols, shotguns, and rifles, and you can even make them better. You can also block attacks and sneak up on enemies, which is helpful. The story is pretty interesting. It's not just about rescuing Ashley, it's about a crazy cult and a strange parasite that's making people crazy. There are a lot of twists and turns, and you'll learn more about what's happening as you play. Ashley's also more helpful in this game. She's not just waiting around to be saved. So, Resident Evil 4 Remake is a game where you explore a scary village, fight creepy monsters, and try to rescue the president's daughter. It's a mix of scary and exciting, and it has a good story. If you like scary games or action games, you'll probably like this one. Mafia Definitive Edition. Mafia Definitive Edition is a remake of the original Mafia game. It tells the story of Tommy Angelo, a cab driver in the 1930s who gets unwillingly drawn into the world of organized crime. It's a classic gangster narrative full of betrayal, loyalty, and the seductive allure of power. The game is a third-person shooter with a focus on narrative and character development. You'll experience Tommy's rise through the ranks of the Salieri crime family, undertaking various missions from simple errands to elaborate heists. These missions often involve driving, shooting, and sometimes hand-to-hand combat. The driving mechanics are a key part of the game, and they're designed to feel authentic to the 1930s era. Cars are slower and handle differently than modern vehicles, adding a layer of challenge to chases and getaways. The combat is cover-based, and it's important to use your surroundings to your advantage. Ammunition can be scarce, so you'll need to be accurate and conserve your resources. The story is the heart of Mafia Definitive Edition. It's a well-written and engaging narrative that explores the complexities of the criminal underworld. Tommy's journey from an ordinary cab driver to a made man is compelling, and the characters he interacts with are memorable and well-developed. The game's atmosphere is also a strong point. The 1930s setting is beautifully realized with detailed environments and a soundtrack that perfectly captures the era. It really feels like you've stepped back in time to a world of gangsters, speakeasies, and classic cars. So, Mafia Definitive Edition is a great choice for anyone who enjoys a good gangster story. It's a well-crafted game with engaging gameplay, a compelling narrative, and a fantastic atmosphere. It's a classic tale of organized crime brought to life with this amazing remake.
Use my trust. Don Salieri. You won't ever need to worry about me.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. If you love realistic, open-world RPGs, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is one of the best games you can play right now. Set in 15th century Bohemia, the game continues the story of Henry, a blacksmith's son who has now stepped into the life of a knight. This isn't just another fantasy RPG with magic and dragons. This is a game where everything is grounded in history. No magic spells, no mythical creatures, just pure, brutal medieval realism. The world is huge and detailed, featuring villages, forests, castles, and even the bustling city of Kutna Hora. Every corner of the map feels alive, with people going about their daily lives, reacting to your choices, and shaping the story as you play. The game offers over 100 hours of gameplay, packed with deep quests and multiple ways to solve problems, making every decision feel important. Combat is challenging and strategic. You can't just swing your sword wildly and hope to win. You need skill, timing, and patience. Swords clash, armor slows you down, and one wrong move can end a fight in seconds. You also need to eat, sleep, and maintain your weapons, adding a layer of survival mechanics that make the world feel even more immersive. The story and character development are one of the game's biggest strengths. Every character feels real, and the choices you make affect how people see you. Want to be a noble warrior? Help people and fight with honor. Want to be a rogue? Sneak, steal, and manipulate your way to the top. The game reacts to how you play, making your journey unique every time. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a game that rewards patience, strategy, and exploration. If you love deep RPGs with strong storytelling and historical accuracy, this is a must-play. The Pathless. Picture this, you're in a massive open world, full of mystical forests, giant ruins, and mountains that seem to go on forever. But there's no map, no markers, no long list of boring objectives. It's just you, your bow, and your eagle, and you gotta trust your instincts to find your way. You play as the hunter, a skilled archer sent to a land that's been cursed by a dark force. The world is dying, and giant, raging spirits are spreading the curse everywhere. Your job? Break the curse and restore the light. But this isn't just about fighting, it's about moving, exploring, and feeling free. The coolest part? You never stop moving. There's no slow walking, no clunky climbing. You shoot special talismans in the air to gain speed, and every shot makes you glide across the world faster. You're running, jumping, flipping, and before you know it, you're flying through the landscape with your eagle by your side. It's smooth, fast, and feels amazing. And that eagle? It's your best friend. It helps you soar through the air, solve puzzles, and reach places you couldn't on your own. You have to take care of it, clean off the corruption when it gets hurt, and trust it completely. This game isn't just about action, it's about connection. The world is full of mysteries. Ancient ruins hide puzzles, hidden paths lead to secrets, and giant cursed beasts roam the land. When you're ready, you take them on. Huge boss battles where you chase them, dodge their attacks, and use your archery skills to bring them down. But there's no aiming down sights. It's all about timing and instinct, which makes every shot feel incredibly satisfying. But Pathless isn't about waypoints, leveling up, or grinding for gear. It's about feeling the wind in your face, trusting your eagle, and following the path, even when there's no road to guide you. If you love games that let you explore without limits, this one is something special. Middle-earth: Shadow of War. You are Talion, a warrior with a powerful elf spirit inside him. Your goal is simple: build an army and take down Sauron. But this is not just a normal fight. You are not just a soldier, you are a leader of war. The world is huge. There are mountains, dark fortresses, burning lands, and everywhere you go, there are orcs, battles, and danger. Some orcs fear you, some want revenge, and some just won't die no matter how many times you defeat them. Fighting is fast and brutal. You swing your sword, shoot arrows, and jump across battlefields like a true warrior. You can freeze time, teleport, summon beasts, and even bend the minds of your enemies. You don't just fight, you control the battlefield. And the best part? The orcs are not just enemies, they have stories. Every orc you face remembers you. If one defeats you, they get stronger, meaner, and hungrier for more blood. If you burn one, they come back scarred and furious. Some will beg to serve you, some will betray you when you least expect it, and some will become your most loyal warriors. You are not just fighting, you are building an army. You take over strongholds, send spies into enemy camps, and lead massive sieges where hundreds of soldiers fight at once. Every battle is different because the orcs have their own plans, their own grudges, and their own ways of fighting back. The world feels alive, the battles feel real, and every choice changes what happens next. No two players will have the same experience. The Outward. This is not like other RPGs. There is no chosen hero, no magic destiny, no easy fights. You are just a normal person trying to survive in a dangerous world. You start with nothing, no gold, no special weapons, not even a safe place to stay. You need to earn everything: food, money, better gear. It all comes from hard work and smart choices. The world is huge and full of dangers. There are monsters, bandits, wild animals, and even the weather can kill you. If you travel without warm clothes, the cold freezes you. If you don't bring water, the desert dries you out. Every journey is a risk, but if you prepare well, you can survive and explore further. Fighting is not easy. Every hit matters, and if you get careless, you will lose. You can't just swing the sword wildly. You need to time your attacks, block, dodge, and use smart tactics. Magic is powerful, but it also has a price. You don't just cast spells, you set up rituals and prepare in advance. And here's the thing, you can't just reload a save when you die. If you lose a battle, the game doesn't end. Maybe bandits capture you, maybe a stranger rescues you, or maybe you wake up in the middle of nowhere, barely alive. Every loss is part of the journey, and every mistake teaches you something new. You don't travel alone, you can team up with a friend in co-op, either online or split screen. Having someone by your side makes survival easier, but it also means sharing resources and planning together. There is no single way to play. You can join different factions, become a trader, a warrior, a mage, or just a traveler are exploring the unknown. Every choice shapes your story. Outward is not a game that holds your hand. It is tough, slow, and rewarding. Every victory feels earned, and every failure teaches you a lesson. If you love RPGs that push you to think, plan, and survive, this is the game for you. Stalker, Call of Pripyat. Call of Pripyat is harsh, cold, and unforgiving. It drops you into the zone, a place where everything wants you dead. Radiation, mutants, bandits, even the land itself. You play as Major Degtyarev, a government agent sent to investigate missing military helicopters deep inside the zone. But this isn't a simple mission. The moment you step into Pripyat, you realize you're just another survivor. Nobody cares who you are. You have to fight, trade, and struggle like everyone else. The world is dark, ruined, and full of danger. Abandoned buildings hide horrible creatures, underground labs hold twisted secrets, and radiation zones burn through your suit if you're not careful. Every trip outside is a risk. Supplies are scarce, bullets matter, and one bad decision can end your life fast. Combat is intense and realistic. Guns jam, break, and need repairs. Enemies are smart, deadly, and will flank you if you're not careful. There's no aim assist, no health regeneration, just you, your gun, and whatever gear you manage to find. And then there are the anomalies, strange, floating distortions that twist gravity, burn flesh, or throw objects across the air. These are deadly but also valuable because inside them you can find artifacts, rare objects that sell for good money or give you special abilities. But Call of Pripyat isn't just about survival. The people in the zone have stories, and your choices affect what happens to them. Some are desperate traders, others are mercenaries, and some just want to escape the zone before it kills them. Who you help, who you betray, and how you handle situations changes the world around you. The game doesn't hold your hand. No quest markers, no easy answers, no second chances. Just pure survival, deep atmosphere, and a story that pulls you in and never lets go. If you want a game that makes you think before you shoot, plan before you move, and feel the weight of every bullet, Stalker Call of Pripyat is one of the best open-world survival shooters ever made. Cyberpunk 2077. Night City never sleeps. The streets are packed with people, neon signs flash from every corner, and danger is around every turn. This place is wild, unforgiving, and full of opportunity. If you're willing to risk everything for it, you step into the boots of V, a mercenary trying to climb to the top. But things go bad fast. A high-tech chip ends up in your head, and inside it, Johnny Silverhand, a long-dead rock star with a grudge against the system. Now he's in your mind, and you have one mission: survive before he takes over completely. Every alley, every club, every corporate tower in Night City feels alive. The world doesn't wait for you. People are working, fighting, and living their own lives. Some want your help, others want you gone, and a few might change your life forever. Fights are fast and brutal. You can gun down enemies, hack their cyberware, or get up close with blades. Mods let you slow down time, punch through walls, or even disable weapons from a distance. The game lets you build your own playstyle: silent assassin, all-out shooter, or high-tech hacker. Cars and bikes let you tear through the city at high speed. One second you're cruising past neon-lit skyscrapers, the next you're racing through dusty wastelands, dodging bullets and explosions. But the real magic? The choices you make shape everything. Who you trust, who you betray, and how you handle situations changes your story. No two playthroughs are the same, and the world reacts to everything you do. Cyberpunk 2077 had a rough start, but now, with big updates and the Phantom Liberty expansion, it has become one of the best open-world RPGs out there. A game full of action, heart, and unforgettable moments. Spider-Man 2. Swinging through New York City feels amazing. You jump off buildings, shoot webs, and fly through the air so fast. The city looks real, with cars, people, and lights everywhere. This time, you play as two Spider-Men, Peter Parker and Miles Morales. You can switch between them anytime, and each one has different powers. Peter has the symbiote suit, making him strong and aggressive, while Miles has electric venom powers that shock enemies. The fighting is fast and fun. You punch, dodge, shoot webs, and use crazy new moves. Enemies come in big groups, and every fight feels exciting. The villains are dangerous. Kraven the Hunter is looking for the strongest fighters in the city, and he won't stop until he finds them. But the biggest threat? Venom. When he arrives, everything changes, and Peter has to fight not just the enemy, but also himself. If you love superheroes, fast web swinging, and big boss fights, Spider-Man 2 is one of the best games you can play. I divine cybermancy. Shadows of Doubt.
Now there's a new kind of killer in town.
So, Shadows of Doubt is one of those games that just pulls you in. It's a detective sim set in a dark, futuristic city where everything is procedural, which basically means every building, every person, every crime is randomly generated every time you play. So, yeah, no two cases are ever the same, which is pretty cool. You play as a private detective, and your job? Solve crimes. Could be a murder, could be a break-in, could be something even bigger. How you go about it? Totally up to you. You can be the classic detective, carefully piecing together clues, checking security cameras, breaking into apartments, scanning fingerprints, reading emails, you name it. Or, if you're feeling a little chaotic, you can just kick down doors, bribe people, or hack into systems to get what you need. The game doesn't really stop you from doing things your way, and that's what makes it feel so alive. And speaking of alive, the city, it's insane. Every NPC has their own daily routine. They wake up, go to work, grab a coffee, come home, sleep. It all just happens around you. So if you're tailing a suspect, you gotta be smart about it. Wait outside their job, follow them home, sneak in when they're asleep. There's a real detective feel to it.
Keeps better records than a crook. And killers.
Actual detective work? Super detailed. You've got a big evidence board where you pin up clues, connect people, track locations. It's like being in one of those detective movies where the guy is staring at a wall covered in red strings. And it's not just for show. You really do need to connect the dots to solve cases. If you're lazy and just randomly accuse someone, yeah, that's gonna backfire badly. But okay, it's not perfect. Since everything is procedurally generated, sometimes things can feel a bit off, like weird NPC behaviors or cases that don't fully make sense. And the game kind of just throws you in with no hand-holding, so if you're expecting a step-by-step guide on how to be a detective, well, good luck. But honestly, that's part of what makes it so engaging. Overall, Shadows of Doubt is one of those games where if you love solving mysteries, sneaking around, and piecing things together like a real detective, you're gonna have a blast. It's deep, immersive, and every case feels like your own little story. If you're into detective stuff, this is 100% worth checking out. Batman Arkham City. Man, Arkham City is something special. If you've ever wanted to feel like Batman, this game nails it. It takes everything that made Arkham Asylum great and cranks it up to 11. A bigger world, crazier villains, and some of the best combat in any game. So, the setup? Gotham has done the dumbest thing possible. They took part of the city, walled it off, and threw all the criminals inside, turning it into a lawless prison. And surprise, surprise, everything goes horribly wrong. You get thrown in there as Bruce Wayne, and within minutes you're suited up as Batman, trying to stop Hugo Strange, Joker, Two-Face, Penguin, and a bunch of other Gotham lunatics who are all up to no good. The open world is just chef's kiss. You're not just running around, you're gliding, grappling, diving off buildings, and it all feels smooth as hell. You can drop into street fights, save civilians, or just lurk on rooftops watching criminals panic. And the combat? Perfection. This is the game that set the standard for action combat in modern games. Punch, counter, dodge, combo, use gadgets mid-fight. It's all so fluid. When you get into a rhythm, you feel unstoppable. Like you're really taking down thugs with skill instead of just button mashing. Then there's the stealth. If combat makes you feel powerful, sneaking makes you feel like a ghost. You drop from rafters, take out enemies one by one, jam their weapons, or just straight up terrify them. There's nothing more satisfying than watching the last guy panic because all his friends vanished into the shadows. The villains steal the show. Joker is at his absolute best here, Penguin is brutal, and Mr. Freeze, one of the best boss fights ever. Every villain has their own story, their own presence, and the way they're woven into the world makes everything feel alive. And the story? Top tier Batman. It keeps you hooked from start to finish, with twists, betrayals, and some emotional moments that hit hard. Honestly, Arkham City is one of the best superhero games ever made. If you like Batman, open world action, or just great games in general, this is a must play. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now this is how you do a pirate game. Black Flag isn't just about sneaking around and stabbing people. It's about freedom, adventure, and sailing across the open sea like a true pirate. You play as Edward Kenway, a pirate who accidentally gets caught up in the whole Assassin Templar mess, but here's the thing, he doesn't care about their war. He just wants gold, glory, and a life of freedom, and honestly, that makes him one of the most fun and interesting protagonists in the series. The best part of the game? The open sea. You're not stuck in one city, you have a massive world to explore, filled with islands, hidden coves, naval forts, and enemy ships to raid. You hop on your ship, the Jackdaw, and just sail wherever you want. And the naval combat? Incredible! You fire cannons, ram enemy ships, board them with your crew, and steal their loot. Every battle feels epic, especially when a storm rolls in and the waves start rocking your ship like crazy. But it's not just about the ships. The land gameplay is classic Assassin's Creed. Sneaking, climbing, taking out targets from the shadows. There are huge cities like Havana and Kingston, hidden Mayan temples, and even underwater shipwrecks you can explore. The world feels alive. Your crew sings sea shanties as you sail, merchants trade in the markets, and rival pirates fight for control of the seas. It's not just an Assassin's Creed game, it's a full pirate experience. The story is great, but it's the journey that makes this game special. The feeling of charting your own course, hunting down treasure, and living the life of a pirate is just unmatched. If you love pirates, open world exploration, or just great action games, Black Flag is one of the best Assassin's Creed games ever made. Watch Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2 is just pure fun. It takes everything the first game tried to do and makes it way better, brighter, faster, and just way more enjoyable to play. You step into the shoes of Marcus Holloway, a young hacker who's got style, skills, and a whole lot of attitude. He joins DedSec, a group of hackers trying to take down corrupt corporations who are spying on everyone. But unlike the first game, which was all dark and serious, Watch Dogs 2 is loud, colorful, and full of energy. And the hacking, it's next level. You're not just messing with traffic lights anymore, you can hack cars to drive themselves, mess with people's phones, shut down security systems, and even send cops after enemies. You don't even need to go inside buildings. You can just hack cameras, use drones, and take down entire enemy bases without stepping a foot inside. The missions are creative and fun. One minute you're sneaking into a Silicon Valley tech company, the next you're hacking into a billionaire's mansion, or pulling off a crazy heist with your hacker crew. It's like being in a high-tech action movie, except you control how things go down. Combat is totally up to you. You can go full stealth, using tasers and hacking, or just go loud with guns and gadgets. But honestly, being sneaky and using hacking tricks is way more fun. And the DedSec crew, they're awesome. Unlike the first game's serious tone, this one feels more like a fun group of rebels just trying to change the world while having a blast. Wrench, Sitara, and Josh all have their own unique personalities, and their banter makes everything feel more real. If you like open world games with fun missions, crazy hacking abilities, and a world that reacts to you, Watch Dogs 2 is definitely worth playing. Far Cry 4. Alright, so Far Cry 4 is one of those games that absolutely nails the open world experience. The world is huge, beautiful, and packed with things to do, but at the same time, the story kind of falls short. Let's break it down. So the game throws you into Kira, a fictional Himalayan country torn apart by a civil war. You play as Ajay Ghale, a guy who just wanted to spread his mom's ashes, but somehow gets caught in a brutal conflict between a rebel group, the Golden Path, and the game's villain, Pegamin. Now let's talk about that world. Kira is stunning. Snowy mountains, dense jungles, villages, rivers. It all looks amazing, and every part of the map feels alive. Animals roam around, enemies patrol the roads, random events happen all the time. You never really know what's gonna happen when you're out exploring, which keeps things exciting. And the gameplay? Super fun. You can go in guns blazing, or you can sneak in with a bow, set traps, and take out enemies one by one. The game gives you tons of options. Use explosives, ride elephants into battle, or even fly around in a tiny helicopter. It's classic Far Cry chaos, and it never gets old. But then there's the story, and yeah, it's not great. Pegamin is an awesome villain and he steals the show every time he's on screen, but the problem, he barely shows up. Most of the story missions are just standard Far Cry stuff. Go here, blow this up, take over that base. The rebels you're helping? Honestly, kinda forgettable. You make choices between two leaders in the Golden Path, but neither of them really feel like good options, so the choices don't feel as important as they should. Also, the game plays it too safe. It's basically Far Cry 3 with a new setting. If you've played that, this game feels very familiar. The open world is better, but the overall structure, pretty much the same. That being said, if you love exploring, causing chaos, and taking down enemy outposts in fun, creative ways, Far Cry 4 delivers. The world and gameplay carry the whole experience, even if the story doesn't really hit as hard as it could. If you're here for the story, it might leave you wanting more. But if you just want to mess around in a giant open world, fight bad guys, and blow stuff up in the most ridiculous ways possible, Far Cry 4 is a blast. Uncharted 4 was probably the most thrilling 12 hours of my life. Everything about this game felt perfect, at least to me. I really love the Uncharted series so much, man. Uncharted 4 is one of the best adventure games ever made. It's not just about shooting bad guys or finding treasure, it's about going on a big, crazy journey that feels like a movie. The kind of game where every moment makes you say, wow, that was awesome. You play as Nathan Drake, a man who used to go on wild treasure hunts, but now he has a normal life. No more danger, no more running for his life, just peace. But then something happens and he gets pulled back in for one last adventure. And this time it feels bigger and more important than ever. It's not just about gold or treasure maps. It's about his past, his future, and the people he loves. And let me tell you, the gameplay is so fun. The climbing feels smooth, the shooting is satisfying, and the stealth parts make you feel like a real treasure hunter. And then they added a grappling hook. Oh man, it changes everything. You can swing across cliffs, escape enemies, and jump into fights like a total action hero. It makes every chase scene feel even more insane. Speaking of insane, the set pieces in this game are unbelievable. One moment you're exploring a lost city, then boom, you're sliding down a collapsing mountain, then suddenly you're in one of the best chase scenes in gaming history, jumping between cars, dodging explosions, and hanging onto a rope while being dragged through the mud. It's pure chaos in the best way possible. But here's what makes Uncharted 4 really special. It's not just action. The story is so good. The characters feel real. They laugh, they argue, they feel human. You care about them. The game makes you think about what's really important in life: treasure, adventure, or the people you love. And the ending? Perfect. It's one of the most satisfying endings in gaming. It doesn't feel forced, it doesn't feel rushed, it just feels right. This game deserves all the hype. The action is amazing, the story is emotional, and the whole thing just feels so special. If you haven't played it yet, what are you waiting for? Go play it now. You're in for an incredible adventure. Hogwarts Legacy. This game is a dream come true for anyone who ever wanted to step inside the wizarding world. Hogwarts Legacy isn't just another game. It's a full-blown magical adventure that puts you right in the middle of it all. You don't play as Harry Potter or any of the usual characters. This is your story. You create your own student, pick a house, and explore Hogwarts on your own terms. But this isn't just about attending classes and waving a wand. You start as a 5th year, already behind in magical training, but with a special connection to an ancient power that others are after. The story feels big, like you're uncovering something that was hidden for centuries, and every step deeper into the mystery makes the journey feel even more rewarding. The world is huge. Hogwarts itself is packed with secret rooms, moving staircases, and hidden details that make the whole place feel alive. Paintings whisper, books fly off shelves, and ghosts casually float through hallways while students go about their day. And it doesn't stop at the castle. The Forbidden Forest is out there, full of dark creatures and mysteries. Hogsmeade is waiting, filled with magical shops and warm, glowing lights. The world is so big and open that sometimes it's hard to believe this is actually a video game. And the best part? You can fly anywhere. Riding a broomstick across the hills and rivers never gets old. The wind rushes past, the view stretches for miles, and it feels like complete freedom. Combat is serious fun. This isn't just simple wand waving. Spells hit hard, enemies fly through the air, slam into walls, and explode in flashes of magic. Every fight feels intense, and every spell combo feels satisfying. There's even a choice to learn the dark arts, including spells that should probably never be cast, but the game leaves that up to you. Be a noble wizard or go full dark mage, the path is yours. Every decision in this game feels meaningful. The friendships you build, the side stories you experience, and the choices you make all add up, making it feel like a personal journey instead of just another fantasy story. Hogwarts Legacy lived up to the hype. The world is stunning, the magic feels real, and the adventure is one that sticks with you. Anyone who grew up wishing they could go to Hogwarts needs to experience this. It's one of the most immersive games ever made. Final Fantasy VII Remake. This game is a legend reborn. The original Final Fantasy VII was one of the most beloved games ever, and FF7 Remake somehow managed to take that classic and turn it into something even more epic. This isn't just an upgraded version of an old game, it's a full reimagining, rebuilt from the ground up with stunning visuals, deep combat, and a story that hits even harder than before. The world of Midgar has never felt more alive. The city is huge, dark, and full of energy. Neon lights glow over the slums, massive metal plates stretch over the sky, and every corner of the world feels detailed and real. The streets are packed with people going about their lives, and just walking through the city makes you feel like you're part of something bigger. And the combat, absolutely incredible. It's not turn-based like the original, it's fast, fluid, and insanely fun. Every fight feels like a mix of action and strategy. You're dodging attacks, slicing through enemies with Cloud's massive buster sword, switching between characters on the fly, and pulling off special moves that feel powerful every single time. It's a perfect balance of classic Final Fantasy mechanics and modern action gameplay, and it makes every battle feel intense. But the biggest reason FF7 Remake stands out is the storytelling. The characters are so well written that you actually care about them. Cloud, Tifa, Barret, Aerith, they all feel real and their personalities shine in every scene. The game takes the original story and expands it in ways that make it even more emotional. You get to see so much more of Midgar, the people struggling under Shinra's rule, and the small moments that make this world feel alive. And the music? Pure magic. The original soundtrack was already legendary, but these remade versions take it to a whole new level. The battle theme, the emotional piano tracks, the epic orchestral moments. It's perfection. FF7 Remake is more than just nostalgia. It's a love letter to the original, but also a bold new take that feels fresh and exciting. The action, the story, the visuals, everything feels right. Even if you never played the original, this game is an incredible experience from start to finish. A game like this doesn't just deserve hype, it demands it, and it absolutely delivers. Yakuza 0. Yakuza 0 is not just a crime story, not just an action game, it's a mix of everything, and somehow it all works perfectly. One moment you're in a serious, emotional gangster drama, the next you're in a karaoke bar singing your heart out, then suddenly you're breakdancing in the streets, running a cabaret club, or fighting a gang of thugs with a bicycle. And that's what makes this game special. It never takes itself too seriously, but when it does, it hits hard. The story is amazing. You play as two characters, Kazuma Kiryu and Goro Majima, two men caught up in the dangerous world of the Japanese underworld. Kiryu is a young, serious guy who wants to prove himself but ends up getting framed for something he didn't do. Majima, on the other hand, is trapped in a world he can't escape, trying to earn his way back into the Yakuza. Their stories connect in ways that keep you hooked, and every twist keeps getting better. The combat is so damn fun. It's a beat 'em up where you just smash enemies into the pavement, and it never gets old. Kiryu and Majima each have multiple fighting styles, and switching between them mid-fight makes every battle feel fresh. Wanna punch people with brute force? Go for it. Wanna use crazy acrobatics and spin kick thugs into trash cans? Majima's got you covered. The game lets you fight your way, and every hit feels powerful. But the real magic is the side content. This game is packed with things to do. You can play arcade games, run a business, go bowling, race toy cars, gamble, or just roam around beating up random street punks for cash. And the side stories? Some of the funniest, most ridiculous moments in gaming. One minute you're helping a guy win back his stolen pants, the next you're training a shy dominatrix to be more confident. And somehow, despite all the silliness, the game still manages to tell a serious, emotional story. The acting is top tier, the drama feels real, and the characters are unforgettable. One second you're laughing, the next you're sitting there stunned by an intense moment. Few games balance emotion and absurdity as well as this one. Yakuza 0 is one of the greatest prequels ever made. The combat is fun, the story is top-notch, and the world is alive with things to do. Whether you're here for the serious crime drama or just want to do dumb side quests for hours, this game deserves all the hype. Rise of the Tomb Raider. This game is a real adventure. It takes you to dangerous places, makes you fight to survive, and lets you explore ancient tombs filled with secrets. If you ever wanted to feel like a real treasure hunter, this game makes it happen. Lara Croft is stronger than ever. She's not just looking for treasure, she's on a mission to uncover the truth behind an ancient secret. She travels to frozen mountains, deep forests, and lost cities, all while being hunted by a powerful group that will do anything to stop her. The story is full of action and keeps you moving forward, making every step feel important. The world is huge and beautiful. Snow-covered mountains, dark caves, hidden temples. Everywhere you go, there's something to find. You can climb, swim, and explore every corner, and the game rewards you for looking around. There are tombs filled with puzzles, secret artifacts, and lost writings that tell the story of an ancient civilization. The more you explore, the more you learn about the world, and the combat feels fast and powerful. Lara doesn't just use guns, she has a bow, knives, and traps to take down enemies in smart ways. The survival elements make everything feel real. You hunt animals, craft weapons, and gather resources to stay alive. The cold can be deadly, and the game makes you feel like you're actually fighting the elements. And the graphics? Absolutely stunning. Every snowflake, every fire, every piece of ancient stone looks real. Whether you're climbing a frozen cliff or sneaking through a dark jungle, the game pulls you in completely. Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of the best in the entire series and absolutely worth playing for everyone. Doom 2016. Doom doesn't waste time, no long cutscenes, no slow tutorials, just pure, non-stop action from the second you start. You wake up on a slab, rip a demon apart with your bare hands, grab a shotgun, and the slaughter begins. Every fight is fast, brutal, and chaotic. You don't hide behind cover, you don't wait for your health to recover, you run straight into the fight, dodging fireballs, jumping over enemies, and blasting demons into bloody chunks. The more aggressive you play, the better you do. Hesitation gets you killed. And the weapons? Perfect. Every gun feels powerful, from the classic shotgun to the heavy-hitting Gauss cannon. And then there's the glory kills, brutal finishing moves that let you rip demons apart with style. The game rewards you for getting up close and personal, keeping the pace insanely fast. The soundtrack is pure chaos. Heavy guitars, pounding drums, and music that makes every battle feel like a metal concert in hell. It keeps the adrenaline going and makes you feel like an unstoppable beast. And the best part? The game knows what it is. No forced drama, no slow moments. It's just you, a pile of weapons, and an army of demons that need to die. Every level pushes you forward, throwing tougher enemies and bigger arenas at you, but never slowing down. Control. Walking into the Federal Bureau of Control feels like stepping into a place that shouldn't exist. The walls shift, rooms appear and disappear, and reality bends in ways that don't make sense. Control throws you into a world where the laws of physics are broken and nothing feels safe. You play as Jessie Faden, a woman searching for answers about her past. She arrives at the Bureau's headquarters, a massive building called the Oldest House, only to find it nearly abandoned. The people inside, either missing, dead, or floating mid-air like they're stuck in a nightmare. A strange force called the Hiss has taken over, corrupting everything, and it's up to Jessie to fight back and take control. Combat is fast and wild. Jessie isn't just shooting enemies, she has superpowers. She can lift objects with her mind and hurl them across the room, create a shield out of rubble, or even float in mid-air. Every fight turns into a chaotic mess of explosions, debris, and enemies flying across the room. The more powers you unlock, the more you feel like a true force of destruction. And the building itself, it's alive. One minute you're walking down an office hallway, the next the walls twist and reshape themselves, leading you somewhere completely different. The whole game feels like a maze that's constantly shifting, hiding secrets, hidden documents, and strange objects with insane powers. One object might let you teleport, another could cause weird time loops, and some are too dangerous to even touch. The story is deep and mysterious. It doesn't explain everything to you, instead it gives you pieces of the puzzle, and it's up to you to put them together. The world feels like there's so much more happening beneath the surface, with stories hidden in notes, audio logs, and strange video recordings scattered throughout the bureau. The sound design? Creepy as hell. Whispers echo through the halls, machines hum in the distance, and sometimes you hear things that shouldn't be there. And then there's the Ashtray Maze, one of the best levels in gaming. Walls open and close around you while rock music blasts through the speakers, and suddenly you're in one of the most insane, mind-bending action sequences ever made. Control is unlike any other game. It feels strange, exciting, and completely unpredictable. The combat is smooth, the story keeps you curious, and the world feels massive and full of secrets. Nier Automata. Some games are fun, some are deep, and then there are games like Nier Automata that make you feel something you didn't expect. At first it looks like a stylish action game about androids fighting robots, but the more you play, the more you realize it's so much more. You control 2B, a battle android sent to Earth to destroy machines. Humanity has been forced to the moon, and the androids are fighting to take the planet back. That's the mission at least, but as you keep going, things start to feel wrong. The enemies, these lifeless machines, aren't acting like mindless killers. Some seem scared, some are trying to build villages, families, even their own way of life. The deeper you go, the more the story pulls you in. The gameplay is so fast and smooth. You slice through enemies with dual swords, shoot from a floating robot, dodge at the last second, and unleash insane attacks. It feels perfect, like you're always in control, always one step ahead. But then, suddenly, the game changes styles. One moment it's a third-person action game, the next you're flying a spaceship in a bullet hell shooter. Sometimes the camera locks into a top-down or side-scrumping view, turning the game into something completely different. It never feels repetitive, always keeping you on edge. And then there's the music, one of the greatest soundtracks ever made. Every track feels like it was made for a story that doesn't have a happy ending. Some songs are haunting, some are intense, and some hit so hard emotionally that they stay in your head long after you stop playing. But the real magic of Nier Automata is the way it tells its story. One playthrough is not enough. The game wants you to see things from different sides, to question everything you thought was true. With every new ending, you see more of the bigger picture, and by the time you reach the true ending, you realize the game has been playing with your expectations the whole time. It's not just about androids versus machines, it's about what it means to exist, about life, about choices, about whether anything we do really matters. Few games go this deep. Nier Automata is a masterpiece. It's stylish, emotional, thought-provoking, and completely unique. It starts as an action game, but turns into something much bigger, much more important. This game didn't just deserve the hype, it deserved to be remembered forever. Zelda Breath of the Wild. Some games give you quests, waypoints, and a map full of things to do. Breath of the Wild gives you a world and complete freedom. From the moment you step out of the cave, there's nothing holding you back. No one tells you where to go, what to do, or how to play. You just explore, and the world reacts to you in ways no other game does. Climb any mountain, swim across any river, glide through the skies, nothing stops you. If you see something in the distance, you can go there. A ruined castle, a snowy peak, a glowing shrine far away. It's all waiting for you to discover. Trees sway in the wind, animals roam freely, storms roll in unexpectedly, everything feels real. And the best part, there's no right way to play. You can charge straight to the final boss with just a stick, or spend hundreds of hours cooking, hunting, and solving puzzles in hidden shrines. You don't just unlock new abilities, you experiment. Fire burns grass, metal attracts lightning, bombs can launch objects into the air. The game doesn't just give you tools, it lets you break the rules in the best way possible. The combat is fast and fluid. You can parry attacks, dodge at the last second for a slow motion counter, or just drop a boulder on an enemy from a cliff. Weapons break, so you're always looking for new ones, making every battle feel unpredictable. And then there's the story, told in fragments, through memories, ruins, and quiet moments. It's not a traditional Zelda story, it's about a fallen kingdom, a hero waking up after 100 years, and a world that's already lost the war. But in that broken world, there's still hope. You piece together what happened at your own pace, making the journey feel personal.
You must save her. My daughter.
Shadow of the Colossus. This is a quiet, powerful game. There are no towns, no people, no small enemies. Just you, your horse, and the giants you must defeat. The world is empty and lonely. You play as Wander, a young man who brings a girl named Mono to a forbidden land. She is gone, but he wants to bring her back. A mysterious voice tells him that if he defeats 16 Colossi, he can save her. With only a sword and a bow, you set off into the unknown. The Colossi are huge. Some walk like giants, some fly in the sky, some swim in the water. Each one is like a moving puzzle. You have to figure out how to climb them, find their weak spots, and strike. There are no health bars or flashy attacks, just you holding on for your life as the Colossus tries to shake you off. The fights feel big and important. When you finally take one down, the music changes, the world goes silent, and something doesn't feel right. You start to wonder, are you doing the right thing? The game never tells you, but you feel it. The world is huge and empty, but not boring. There are mountains, deserts, waterfalls, and ruins, all quiet, waiting for you to pass through. The game doesn't give you waypoints or guides. You just ride, explore, and feel the world around you. The graphics are simple but beautiful, the music is soft and sad, then loud and epic when you fight. The story doesn't say much, but it makes you think and feel. Shadow of the Colossus is not about talking or collecting things, it's about feeling small in a giant world, about fighting creatures that don't seem like villains, and about what happens when you go too far for something you love. Red Dead Redemption 2. Some games are big, and then there are games like Red Dead Redemption 2, games that pull you in so deep that you forget you're even playing. This isn't just about cowboys, shootouts, or open world freedom. It's about life, choices, and watching everything around you slowly fall apart. You are Arthur Morgan, an outlaw with a rough past, a sharp gun, and a heart that's heavier than he lets on. He rides with the Vanderlyn Gang, a group that's not just criminals, they're a family. A group of people running from a world that no longer has a place for them. At first, they're holding onto the dream of freedom, of living outside the rules. But dreams don't last forever. The world is changing, the law is closing in, and trust inside the gang is breaking apart. At first, Arthur is just another outlaw, but as you ride through the game, through long nights under the stars, cold mornings by the fire, and bloody afternoons in town shootouts, you start to see who he really is. A man trying to hold onto something that's already slipping through his fingers. A man who's spent his life running from the truth, until he doesn't have the time to run anymore.
I shall try.
I know you will.
And it has already been said a million times, man, the world of Red Dead 2 is the most breathtaking. It doesn't just look real, it feels real. The way the sun breaks over the mountains, the way the rain soaks the dirt roads, the way the wind moves through the trees. Towns aren't just locations, they're like a real world. You see people working, talking, fighting, laughing. You can stop in a saloon, play a game of poker, rob a train, hunt a bear, or just ride into the wild, listening to the sound of your horse's hooves on the dirt. But the best part isn't what you can do, it's what you feel. The weight of every decision, the way Arthur changes, the way the gang starts to crumble, the way the story slowly tightens around you like a noose. And when the final moments hit, they don't just make you sad, they break you. The kind of heartbreak that stays in your chest long after the credits roll. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just one of the best games ever made, it's one of the best stories ever told. The Witcher 3. Geralt of Rivia isn't a hero, he's not trying to save the world, he's just looking for someone he cares about, and along the way, he gets pulled into wars, monster hunts, and choices that never feel easy. The world again is just big. Villages burn from battles, kings plot against each other, people struggle to survive. One day you're riding through a peaceful field, the next you find bodies hanging from trees, war camps filled with soldiers, or a hidden cave where something ancient and evil is waiting. Nothing feels random. Every place has a story. And those stories? They're incredible. A simple side quest isn't just go kill this monster. It's a tragic love story, a curse tied to an old betrayal, or a mystery where the real villain isn't the beast, it's the people. Even a random peasant on the side of the road might lead you into something deeper than expected. Combat is brutal and satisfying. Swords alone won't save you. You dodge, parry, use magic, prepare potions, and think before you fight. Every enemy has a weakness. A vampire won't go down the same way as a werewolf, and rushing in without a plan, that's how you die. The choices you make actually matter. Save a person now and they might come back to help. Or maybe what you thought was the right choice ruins someone else's life. There's no clear good or bad, just your decisions and their consequences. And then there's the music. Haunting, emotional, unforgettable. Whether you're standing in the middle of a battlefield or walking through a quiet, snow-covered village, the soundtrack sets the mood perfectly. The Witcher 3 isn't just a game, it's one of the best stories ever told in gaming. Every moment, every character, every decision pulls you in, and when it finally ends, you feel it.
The good will die.
God of War Ragnarok. Kratos has fought many battles, but this one is different. Ragnarok is coming and the world is falling apart. He just wants to protect his son, but fate keeps pushing him into war. Atreus is older now and he has questions. He wants to know who he really is, what his future holds, and why the gods fear him. But looking for answers means taking risks, and those risks bring Odin, Thor, and all of Asgard to their doorstep. The combat feels incredible, the Leviathan axe is heavy and hits hard, the Blades of Chaos are fast and deadly, new weapons bring new ways to fight, and every hit feels powerful. Enemies are tougher, smarter, and more aggressive. You don't just swing wildly, you dodge, block, and strike at the right moment to survive. The world is massive. You visit all 9 realms and each one feels unique. Snowy mountains, deep forests, burning lands. Every place has secrets to find, people to help, and enemies to fight. And the gods, Odin isn't just an enemy. He's manipulative, always watching, always planning. Thor is not just a brute, he's a man full of anger and regrets. Kratos, once known only for rage, is now trying to be better, but his past keeps following him. The story is emotional, it's about family, fate, and the choices we make. Some moments are huge with massive battles and epic fights, others are quiet, showing how much these characters have changed. And when it all ends, you feel it. God of War Ragnarok isn't just a sequel, it's a powerful ending to Kratos' story. Everything about it is bigger, better, and more emotional, a game that deserved every bit of hype. Metaphor, ReFantanzio. This game is something special. It comes from the same people who made Persona, but instead of high school students fighting demons, this time you're in a huge fantasy world filled with magic, kingdoms, and crazy creatures. It's still got that cool, stylish vibe, but now it's mixed with knights, castles, and battles that feel bigger than life. The story is about a world without a king, and everyone is fighting to take the throne. You play as a traveler who gets caught up in this struggle, and now it's up to you to decide the fate of the kingdom. But this isn't a simple good versus evil story. There are multiple factions, deep choices, and characters that feel real. Some people will trust you, some will betray you, and the world changes based on what you do. The combat is fast and exciting. It looks like action, but it's actually turn-based with a twist. Instead of just standing still and picking moves, you can move around, set up attacks, and react quickly. It's like Persona, but with more freedom and strategy. You can also change your character's archetype, which is basically their class, giving you different skills and play styles. One moment you're a sword fighter, the next you're a powerful mage, and it's up to you how you want to play. The world is huge and open, but not empty. Every town, dungeon, and area has secrets to find, people to meet, and enemies waiting for you. And just like Persona, the music, visuals, and style make everything feel super cool and unique. the menus, the UI, the little animations, everything looks like it was made to be fun to watch and play. Metaphor, ReFantanzio is not just another fantasy RPG. It's got deep story choices, fast and stylish combat, and a world that feels full of life. If you like games that let you explore, experiment, and experience a story that reacts to you, this one is going to be something special.
I will not let you die in vain.
Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is a post-apocalyptic RPG where you do whatever you want. You wake up in a world that has been completely destroyed by nuclear war, and now you have to survive, explore, and rebuild your life. You can follow the story, go off on your own, or just wander through the wasteland looking for cool places, weird characters, and crazy weapons. And the game starts with a simple but emotional setup. You wake up after being frozen in a vault for 200 years, and your son has been kidnapped. From there, you step out into a massive open world where every town, every ruin, and every hidden bunker has something interesting to find. Some places are full of enemies, some have hidden secrets, and some tell small stories just through the things left behind. Combat is fast and fun. You can shoot in real time like a normal FPS, or use VATs, a system that slows down time and lets you target specific enemy body parts. It makes every fight feel cinematic and strategic, letting you pull off crazy headshots or blow off an enemy's weapon arm before they even shoot. The game is full of choices, but they are not as deep as older Fallout games. Some fans didn't like that the dialogue system is more limited, meaning you don't always get a lot of ways to respond, but the real strength of Fallout 4 is its open-ended gameplay. You can be a hero, a villain, a wanderer, or even just a builder, crafting your own settlements from the ruins of the old world. Settlement building is a big part of the game. You can create bases, set up defenses, and even make entire towns where NPCs live and work. Some people love this feature, spending hours making the perfect wasteland city. Others hate it, feeling like it takes away from the RPG elements. The world is full of factions, and you have to choose who to side with. The Brotherhood of Steel wants to control technology, the Institute is full of secretive scientists, the Minutemen try to rebuild civilization, and the Railroad fights for freedom. Who you join changes the ending, but some players felt the choices weren't as deep as in previous Fallout games. Some people don't like how Fallout 4 leans more toward action and less toward RPG elements. There are fewer dialogue options, less role-playing, and a lot of shooting. If you're looking for a deep RPG like Fallout New Vegas, this might not be what you expect. But if you love exploring, crafting, and blowing up mutants with crazy weapons, Fallout 4 is one of the most fun open-world games out there. Dragon Age Inquisition. This is one of the biggest RPGs ever made, and it gives you a whole world to shape. You're not just playing as a hero, you're leading an entire movement to stop a war, close a massive hole in the sky, and bring order to a world that's falling apart. The game gives you a ton of freedom, and the choices you make actually matter. You play as the Inquisitor, a character who survives a magical explosion and somehow gains the ability to close rifts between worlds. Because of this, you quickly become the leader of the Inquisition, a group trying to stop a deadly war, hunt down a powerful villain, and bring balance to the land. But nothing is simple. Every choice has consequences, and the game constantly makes you decide between what's right and what's necessary. The world is huge and full of things to do. Unlike older Dragon Age games, this one has open world areas that let you explore forests, deserts, mountains, and ruins at your own pace. You can hunt down rare enemies, find hidden dungeons, gather materials for crafting, or just wander around listening to your companions argue about everything. The environments look stunning, and each region has its own vibe, dangers, and secrets. Combat feels like a mix of strategy and action. You can fight in real time, swinging swords, casting spells, and dodging attacks, or you can pause the game and give orders to your team like a true tactician. Some players love the flexibility, while others miss the deeper, tactical gameplay from older Dragon Age games. If you prefer a more action-focused RPG, you'll enjoy it, but if you wanted a hardcore strategy game, this one might feel a bit too simplified. Your companions are the heart of the game. Every character has their own personality, goals, and problems. Some will love you, some will challenge you, and some might leave if they don't agree with your leadership. You can build friendships, romance certain characters, and even change their opinions over time. Their banter while exploring is one of the best parts of the game, making them feel like real people with real emotions. Some parts of the game aren't as strong. The open world areas can feel too big and empty at times, with lots of fetch quests that don't always feel meaningful. The main story is amazing, but some side missions can drag on, and while the choices you make are important, the final battle feels a little underwhelming compared to what comes before it. But despite that, Inquisition is one of the best RPGs of its time. It has a deep world, great characters, and choices that actually shape the story. If you love games where you lead a team, make tough decisions, and explore a giant fantasy world, this is a must-play.
It grows larger with each passing hour.
Lost Judgment. This game is part detective story, part action thriller, and part let's go do random ridiculous things in Japan for hours. It's the sequel to Judgment, a spin-off of the Yakuza series, but this time, things feel even darker, deeper, and more refined. If you love story-driven crime dramas with intense combat, this is one of the best out there. You play as Takayuki Yagami, a former lawyer turned private detective. He gets involved in a high-profile case where a man is accused of a shocking crime, but things don't add up. What starts as a simple investigation turns into a huge conspiracy involving corruption, revenge, and justice. The game keeps you hooked from start to finish, mixing serious storytelling with moments of humor and absurdity that make it feel alive. Combat is fast, stylish, and brutal. Yagami isn't just a detective, he's also a martial arts master. You can switch between different fighting styles depending on the situation. Crane is for handling big groups, Tiger is for one-on-one fights, and the new Snake style lets you counter and disarm enemies. Beating up thugs in the streets never gets old, and the animations make every fight feel impactful and satisfying. But Lost Judgment isn't just about fighting, there's actual detective work too. You'll sneak around, tail suspects, pick locks, and gather clues to solve the mystery. Some parts are slow, but they help you feel like a real investigator instead of just a guy who punches his way through every problem. And then there's the side content, which is absolutely insane. One moment you're dealing with a murder case, the next you're helping high school students with everything from dancing competitions to underground robot fights. There are tons of mini games, arcade machines, boxing matches, skateboarding, and even a fully fleshed out Master System emulator where you can play old Sega games. If you get tired of the main story, you can waste hours just messing around. Not everything is perfect though. Some of the tailing missions can drag on and feel a bit repetitive. The detective mechanics aren't as deep as they could be, and if you don't like long cutscenes, the story might feel too slow at times. But if you're into rich storytelling, deep combat, and a world full of side activities, this game is fantastic. Lost Judgment is for people who love crime dramas, fast combat, and games that let you do way more than just follow the main quest. It's a mix of intense action, serious storytelling, and pure fun, and once you get into it, it's hard to put down. Subnautica.
Scans indicate this location.
Okay, so this game is something else. Imagine crashing your spaceship on a planet that's completely covered in water. No land, just ocean as far as the eye can see. That's Subnautica. You're stuck in this little escaped pod, basically a floating tin can, and your first priority is just staying alive. You've got to figure out where to find drinkable water, what's edible and what's going to poison you instantly, and how to not suffocate while exploring underwater. A pretty frantic start, but once you get past the initial survival panic, the real fun begins exploring. This ocean is massive and it's absolutely stunning. You've got these vibrant coral reefs teeming with alien fish, kelp forests that are way bigger than any kelp forest on Earth, and these deep, dark trenches where you have no idea what's lurking. Seriously, the first time you encounter a Reaper Leviathan, terrifying, absolutely terrifying. It's a beautiful world, but it's also full of these creatures that are both fascinating and incredibly dangerous. You're not just swimming around aimlessly though, you're constantly crafting stuff. You start with basic tools, but as you explore and find blueprints, you can build all sorts of amazing things. Better diving gear so you can go deeper, scanners to learn about the local flora and fauna, and eventually you can even build submarines, like actual submarines that you can pilot around the ocean. It's so cool. You're constantly gathering resources, figuring out new recipes, and trying to improve your chances of survival. There's a story woven into all of this too. It's not a typical story with cutscenes and dialogue, it's more subtle. You find clues scattered around the ocean, learn about what happened to the planet and the people who were here before you, and gradually piece together the mystery. It's a really clever way to tell a story, and it makes exploring even more rewarding. honestly, Subnautica is just incredibly immersive. You really feel like you're exploring this alien world. It's beautiful, it's scary, it's addictive, and it's full of surprises. It's one of those games that you can easily lose hours in, just swimming around, discovering new things, and trying not to get eaten. If you like open world games, survival games, or just games that make you feel like you're on a real adventure, you absolutely have to play Subnautica. It's an experience you won't forget. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a third-person action-adventure game set in the Star Wars universe. It's a bit like a mix of Uncharted and Dark Souls with a dash of Metroid thrown in for good measure. You play as Cal Kestis, a former Jedi Padawan who's been hiding since the fall of the Jedi Order. The story is about him rediscovering his connection to the Force and fighting against the evil Galactic Empire. The gameplay is a blend of lightsaber combat, platforming, and exploration. Cal is a skilled Jedi, and you'll be using your lightsaber to fight all sorts of enemies, from stormtroopers to giant creatures. The combat is challenging but rewarding, requiring you to learn enemy attack patterns and use your Force abilities strategically. The platforming is a big part of the game too. You'll be climbing, jumping, and wall running your way through a variety of environments, from lush forests to ancient temples. It's very reminiscent of Uncharted in that respect. The game also features a Metroidvania-style map. As you gain new abilities, you can go back and explore previously inaccessible areas. This encourages exploration and allows you to discover hidden secrets and collectibles. The story is a strong point. It's a well-written and engaging narrative that explores Cal's journey as he rediscovers his connection to the Force and comes to terms with his past. The characters are well developed and the voice acting is excellent. It really feels like a proper Star Wars story. So, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a fantastic action-adventure game that captures the feel of the Star Wars universe perfectly. It's got challenging combat, fun platforming, a Metroidvania-style map, and a compelling story. If you're a Star Wars fan, or if you just enjoy a good action-adventure game, this is definitely one to check out.
The choice to keep fighting that makes us who we are.
Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is a game where you shoot a lot of Nazis. It's set in a world where the Nazis won World War II, which is a pretty scary thought. You play as BJ Blazkowicz, a really tough guy. People call him Terror Billy because he's so good at killing Nazis. He's trying to start a revolution in America, which is now controlled by the Nazis. It's a pretty messed up situation, but BJ is determined to fight back. The game is mostly about shooting, like a lot of shooting. You get to use all sorts of weapons. There are regular guns like pistols and shotguns, but there are also some crazy futuristic weapons that the Nazis have. You can even dual wield weapons, which means you can hold in each hand and shoot twice as many Nazis. It's pretty intense and there's a lot of blood and explosions. The shooting feels really good though. The guns feel powerful and it's satisfying to take down enemies. Wolfenstein 2 isn't just a serious, gritty game though. It's also kind of crazy and over the top. It knows it's a video game and it doesn't take itself too seriously. There are some really ridiculous moments, funny lines, and just plain weird stuff that happens. It's like a B-movie action film, but you get to play it. But even though it's crazy, the story is actually pretty good. It's not just about killing Nazis, it's about why you're killing them. It explores themes of freedom, oppression, and what war does to people. BJ Blazkowicz is a complicated character. He's a tough guy, but he's also got feelings and worries. The game shows you his struggles and what motivates him to keep fighting. It's a surprisingly deep story for a game that's mostly about shooting. You get to visit a bunch of different places in the game. They're all based on real places in America, but they've been changed a lot because the Nazis are in charge. There are ruined cities, big Nazi bases, and all sorts of other interesting locations. The levels are designed so you can explore them and find hidden stuff, but they're also designed for intense gunfights. There's always something to shoot at. So, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus is a game where you shoot a ton of Nazis. It's fast, it's violent, it's kind of crazy, and it has a surprisingly good story. It's not just mindless action. There's actually something to think about while you're playing. If you like shooting games and you don't mind a lot of blood and over-the-top action, you should definitely check it out. It's a wild ride, but it's a fun one. Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus is a game where you explore a big, messed up Russia after a nuclear war. It's a first-person shooter, which means you see the world through the character's eyes, and it's also a survival horror game, so things can get pretty scary. It's the third game in the Metro series, but this time, you're not stuck in the tunnels under Moscow anymore. You get to go outside and see what's left of the world. You play as Artyom, who was also the main character in the other Metro games. He and a bunch of other people who survived the war decide to leave the Metro and try to find a new place to live. They hop on a train and travel across the country, which is now a wasteland. It's a long and dangerous journey, and they meet all sorts of people along the way. The story is less about one big goal and more about the journey itself and the characters you meet. The game is a mix of shooting, sneaking around, and exploring. The shooting is tough, you don't have a lot of bullets, and your guns can break down. You have to scavenge for supplies and keep your weapons in good shape if you want to survive. Sneaking around is also important. Sometimes it's better to avoid a fight altogether and you can sneak past enemies or take them down quietly. Exploring is a big part of the game too. There are lots of hidden places to discover, and you can find useful items and learn more about the world by exploring. Metro Exodus has a day and night cycle and a weather system that changes. This makes the game more challenging. Some enemies are more active at night, and it can be harder to see in bad weather. You have to be careful and plan your moves based on the time of day and the weather. There's also a crafting system. You can use resources you find to make ammo, med kits, and other things that will help you survive. Managing your resources is really important. You don't want to run out of bullets or med kits when you're in a tough spot. The story in Metro Exodus is more personal than the stories in the other Metro games. It's about Artyom and his relationships with the people he's traveling with. It's about hope, survival, and trying to find a better future in a world that's been destroyed. It's a pretty emotional story, and you really get to know the characters. Stray, the cat game. Some games take time to pull you in. Stray grabs you right away. The moment you start, you're not just playing a cat, you feel like one. You're exploring, jumping, scratching, and even doing little cat things like knocking objects off ledges for no reason. But then you realize this isn't just a fun little adventure, there's something bigger happening here. The game starts with your cat falling into a strange underground city. This place is empty of humans, but it's filled with robot people who seem to be living their own strange lives. Some of them are friendly, some are scared of you, and some are just weird. The world is dark, neon lit, and mysterious, and the first hour is all about exploring, solving small puzzles, and learning how this place works. Soon, you meet B-12, a tiny flying drone that talks for you and helps you understand the world. With B-12, you start to discover secrets about this city, why it's sealed off, why the robots are here, and what really happened to the people. But it's not all just looking around, there's danger too. After a while, you run into the Zerks, creepy little creatures that swarm and attack in groups. At first, all you can do is run for your life, dodging through alleys and jumping across rooftops while they chase you. It's intense and scary, but it makes the game feel alive. The best part, the way you move and explore feels so smooth and natural. You don't have to press a bunch of buttons to jump, just look at where you want to go and your cat will leap there. It makes exploring fun, and you'll find yourself climbing, sneaking, and discovering new paths everywhere. By the time you've spent an hour in Stray, you've already jumped across rooftops, met strange robots, run for your life from Zerks, and started piecing together the mystery of the city. And by then you won't want to stop. It's more than just a cute cat game. It's an adventure, a mystery, and a journey through one of the most unique game worlds ever made. Once you start, it's impossible to put down. Dying Light. Some zombie games let you fight back. Dying Light makes you run for your life. From the moment you start, the game throws you into a massive infected city where the streets are filled with the undead, and the only way to survive is to move fast, think smart, and never stay in one place for too long. You play as Kyle Crane, a guy sent into the quarantine city of Heron on a mission. At first, things seem simple. You do some training, learn how to run and climb, and get your first weapon. But then you step outside, and the world feels dangerous. Zombies are everywhere, and unlike other games, they're not just background decorations. They react to you, they chase you, and if you're not careful, they'll surround you. The game's biggest feature is parkour movement. Instead of just walking or sprinting, you can climb buildings, jump between rooftops, and use the environment to escape danger. It feels smooth and natural, and after just a few minutes, you start thinking like a freerunner, always looking for the next rooftop, ladder, or ledge to grab onto. Combat is brutal and personal. You don't get a lot of guns at first, so you have to use whatever weapons you can find. Crowbars, machetes, baseball bats, even a pipe if that's all you have. Zombies don't go down easily, so every fight feels intense, and because weapons break over time, you have to keep looking for new ones, which adds to the tension. Then there's the night falls. The first time you experience night in Dying Light, everything changes. The regular zombies are still there, but now something much worse is hunting you. The volatile, super fast, ultra aggressive creatures can hear you, chase you, and kill you in seconds if you're not careful. You can hide, run, or fight, but no matter what you do, the fear of being spotted never goes away. The game hooks you fast. One minute you're learning how to jump between rooftops, the next you're being hunted, running through alleyways, climbing walls, and barely making it to safety. And by the time the sun rises, you'll already be addicted. The Outer Worlds. The moment you wake up from cryo sleep, you know this isn't just another space adventure. You're in a galaxy ruled by greedy mega corporations, and everything from the food people eat to the jobs they work is controlled by profit-driven executives. It's messed up but hilarious in a dark way, and the game wastes no time throwing you into its weird, chaotic world. Right away, you start making choices that actually matter. Do you help struggling workers stand up against their corporate overlords, or do you sell out for personal gain? Do you lie, persuade, or just shoot your way through problems? The game doesn't judge you, it lets you play however you want, and that's what makes it so fun. The world isn't just one big map, it's a series of different planets and space stations, each with its own culture, problems, and strange characters. In your first hour, you'll meet people who treat company slogans like religious scripture, a scientist who might blow himself up any second, and bandits who are either hilarious or terrifying depending on how you approach them.
Ow! What was that for?
Combat is fast and flexible. You can use plasma rifles, laser pistols, melee weapons, and even a slow-motion targeting system to find enemy weak spots, and if you don't want to fight, you can talk your way out of almost anything. Your skills, whether it's hacking, persuasion, or even just being ridiculously dumb, change the way people react to you, leading to some of the funniest moments in the game. Your companions steal the show. You don't just hire faceless NPCs, they have their own stories, opinions, and sometimes their own problems with each other. You might get attached to one in just a few conversations, and before you know it, you're doing everything you can to help them with their personal struggles. But the best part? Your choices actually change the world. This isn't a game where you pick an option and get a slightly different ending. Entire factions can rise or fall because of what you do. Even small decisions come back in ways you don't expect. Within an hour, you'll be hooked. Not because the game is forcing you forward, but because it's so fun to experiment, explore, and see how the world reacts to you. If you love story-driven RPGs with humor, deep choices, and fun combat, The Outer Worlds is one of those games that will keep you coming back for more. Prey 2017. Oh man, Prey is one of those games where if you vibe with it, you're gonna get completely sucked in within the first hour. Like, no joke, I booted this thing up just to check it out, and suddenly 3 hours had passed. It's got that kind of pull. Now, if you've never played it, Prey is a sci-fi immersive sim. Think BioShock, but in space, with a whole lot of paranoia and mystery thrown in. You wake up on this slick, futuristic space station Talos 1, and everything seems kinda normal until, well, it's absolutely not. The game throws you into this crazy, mind-bending situation where you start questioning everything, and that's what makes Prey so damn addicting. Right away, it hooks you with that mystery. Then there's the gameplay. It's got that Arcane Studios magic, where you're given all these cool tools and freedom to figure things out in your own way. You're not just running down hallways shooting aliens. This game makes you think. Do you sneak around? Do you turn into a coffee mug to avoid enemies? Yeah, that's a real thing, and it's as fun as it sounds. The Typhon, these terrifying black, inky alien creatures, can mimic objects, so you'll constantly be second guessing whether that chair in the corner is actually a chair or if it's about to lunge at your face. And then you hit that moment, the one that seals the deal. You unlock some alien abilities, suddenly you're zipping around like a sci-fi wizard, and the game just opens up. You start seeing all these hidden paths and creative ways to get past obstacles, and that's when the addiction kicks in. You're like, wait, what if I use this power here? Or what if I stack these objects to climb up there? Next thing you know, it's 4 AM and you've accidentally played for 7 hours straight. If you love games that make you feel smart, let you experiment, and throw you into a world that feels like a puzzle box just waiting to be cracked open, Prey is an absolute must. trust. It doesn't hold your hand, it doesn't spoon feed you solutions, and that's what makes it so damn satisfying. It's got that perfect mix of tension, exploration, and holy crap, did I just pull that off moments. It might start slow for some, but once you're in, you're in. Prey is the kind of game where you sit down for just one more objective, and suddenly the sun is rising, you've been warned. The Vampyr. So, Vampyr is a game where you play as a doctor, but also you're a vampire. Yeah, things get complicated real fast. The game is set in old-timey London, where the streets are dark, the fog is thick, and people are getting sick everywhere. You wake up as Dr. Jonathan Reed, and suddenly, you're a vampire. You don't know how or why, but you need blood, and that's a big problem, because you're supposed to be saving lives, not taking them. The whole game is about choices. You meet people, and every single one of them has a story. You can talk to them, help them with their problems, even cure their illnesses. But here's the thing, if you want to get stronger, you have to drink blood. And once you kill someone, they're gone forever. Their friends will notice, their family will grieve, and the entire city will change because of it. That's what makes this game so different. It doesn't just let you be a vampire. It makes you think about it. Of course, there's fighting too. There are vampire hunters, creepy monsters, and even other vampires, and you have all sorts of cool abilities to take them down. You can teleport short distances, drain blood, attack super fast, even create giant spikes of blood to hit enemies. The more you feed, the stronger you get, but that also means giving up on being the good guy. What's really cool is that you can finish the whole game without killing innocent people. It just makes things much harder. It's not just about fighting though. The game is slow and mysterious, more about the story than action. You spend a lot of time exploring, talking to people, and figuring out who they really are before deciding if you'll help them or use them. And the game reacts to everything you do. If too many people die, the city starts falling apart. If you keep the people safe, London survives, but you'll be weaker. So yeah, if you like vampire stories, dark mystery vibes, and making big choices, Vampyr is really cool. It makes you feel like you're actually living in this world, making tough decisions and dealing with the consequences. And once you start, you'll want to keep going just to see what happens next. Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human is a game where your choices change everything. It's like an interactive movie, but you control the story. There's no right or wrong way to play, you just make decisions and the game reacts. Every little thing you do can change what happens next, and that makes it super exciting. The story takes place in the future, where robots called androids are everywhere. People use them for work, cleaning, and taking care of things, but something is happening. Some of these androids start to feel emotions. They don't just follow orders anymore. Some want freedom, some want to help humans, some don't know what to do, and you get to control 3 of them. The game is all about decisions. What you say, what you do, who you trust, it all changes the story. Characters can live or die because of your choices, and even tiny actions can affect how things end. You never know what's coming next, and that makes the game feel so real. The world looks amazing with characters that feel alive, their faces, their voices, their emotions. It's like watching a movie, but you're the one in control. And because there are so many different choices, you can play it again and again and always get a new story. If you love games with deep stories, emotional moments, and big decisions, Detroit Become Human is something you don't want to miss. It makes you think, it makes you feel, and once you start playing, you won't want to stop. Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs is an open-world action game where you play as Wei Shen, an undercover cop trying to take down the Triads, the most dangerous gangs in Hong Kong. But here's the problem. Wei isn't just pretending to be part of the gang, he's actually starting to become one of them. And that makes everything way more intense. The game throws you right in from the start. One moment you're running from the cops through crowded streets, the next you're deep inside the Triad world, earning their trust by doing dirty jobs. It's like a crime movie where you're constantly stuck between being a good guy and a bad guy, and the more you play, the more you start wondering, who is Wei Shen really? Now the combat in this game is awesome. Instead of just shooting like in most open world games, hand-to-hand combat is the main focus. It feels brutal. You punch, kick, counter, and use the environment to destroy enemies in crazy ways. Smashing a guy's head into an air conditioner, grabbing someone and throwing them into a fish tank, yeah, it's that kind of game. Driving feels fast and fun, with cars that actually feel good to control. You can also jump from one car to another, just like in an action movie. And speaking of action movies, the slow motion gunfights feel like something straight out of a Hong Kong film. The world feels alive, with busy markets, neon lights, and people everywhere. It's not as big as some other open world games, but it's packed with detail. You can go to street vendors, gamble on cockfights, do side missions, or just drive around and take in the view. The story is really strong too. Wei Shen isn't just some random hero. He's dealing with real struggles. He's trying to be a cop, but he's also forming real friendships with the gangsters. Some of them aren't just villains, they feel like family. And that makes things really complicated when you have to take them down. Disco Elysium.
No one asked me. You dialed the number as you...
Disco Elysium is not like other games. There's no fighting, no shooting, no action. It's all about talking, thinking, and making choices. You play as a detective, but there's a problem. You wake up in a hotel room with no memory. You don't know who you are, where you are, or what's happening. All you know is that there's a dead body outside, and it's your job to solve the case. This game is about conversations. You talk to people, ask questions, and try to find out the truth. But the most interesting part? Your own brain talks to you. Different parts of your mind argue all the time. Your logic tells you one thing, your emotions tell you something else, and sometimes your brain just says weird, crazy stuff. It feels like you're inside the detective's head, trying to make sense of everything.
The door does not care.
There's no combat. Everything happens through dialogue. You can be a smart detective, a mean cop, a funny guy, or just a complete mess. People react to you based on how you act. If you drink too much or say the wrong things, they might stop helping you. If you're clever, you can get more clues. Every choice changes the story. The city of Revachol is dark, dirty, and full of problems. People are poor, crime is everywhere, and everyone has their own opinion about how the world should be. The game talks about politics, life, and society, but it never forces you to agree with anything. You decide what kind of person you want to be.